And once again, it is not Matthew Bishop. It's Chip Matthews along with Taylor Turcottee
Good
here
morning.
on the big radio station, WYAB 103.9 and worldwide on WYAB.com. And of course, everybody in the world is listening to us. This is where Russia gets disinformation.
This is where?
This is
From
where
us?
from us.
Oh, okay.
Our whole show is just to confuse the Russians and the Chinese to where they don't know what to do. That
Oh,
is
my
our
goodness.
job for Trump. They
Are we
go,
being accused of, or are we being?
no,
Okay.
we're the ones that make them crazy. They say we listen to Chip and Taylor. We know what's going on in America.
Yep. They're opening some eyes.
There's this guy named Benny Thompson, and he rules the world.
Where is Benny? Have we seen Benny? I haven't seen Benny. I didn't see him at the State of the Union whenever we not State of the Union, but whatever Trump did on the Hill last week. I didn't. I'm realizing I haven't seen him anywhere. Where is he?
Well,
Has anybody seen him around town?
Around town? No.
Here in Jackson? Is he home or?
I know that yesterday, the at the Mississippi Republican headquarters, they were talking about the people that were at the 9 leaders from North Carrollton, Atala, Carroll, Montgomery, and Kosciuszko, and other officials that are switching from the Democrat to the Republican Party. And I'm going,
what?
What is this? I can be a rhino too.
What? No, that means that we're converting Mississippi Democrats to be Republicans. That my big plan is becoming reality of converting Democrats. In fact, I had to
Can you convert a Democrat?
Well, last night I said to one, she said, "It's nice to meet you." I said, "Nice to meet you too." And she thanked me for coming. And I guess the fact that I was the only Republican there. And I looked at her and I said, on the streets down here in real life, there's not much difference between us. And she agreed.
Well, I mean,
we all go to church with the same values in Mississippi.
That goes back to the main thing there.
Right.
But the voting population of these Republicans and Democrats, I question their values when they go to vote. When we go to vote on something in the House or Senate,
well,
we've now got new former Democrats now that are Republican.
Right. Oh, so we're talking about okay.
Okay, these people at the State House they were Democrats.
We're not talking about my kind of people every day on the street.
We're not talking about everybody. We're talking about politicians.
See, I live on the street.
I look at that as you're recruiting rhinos.
From don't bet on that from what we got going on with our GOP leadership. I think we may be starting over and getting rid of the rhinos in Mississippi and my generation X of.
You don't think Delbert put them up to? You can be just like me.
I've never seen Delbert in the GOP headquarters, and I'm there at least once a month for a meeting. So
he showed up at the when we did the delegates.
I'm telling you, the feelings that I'm feeling on the street with people, everyday Democrats. I would not be surprised if there are certain Democrats. Because it's just like I said to the lady last night, there's not much in Mississippi, everyday people who are not on the corruption bank account, I guess, or whatever you'd call it. Yeah. I would not be surprised if there are a lot of especially in Mississippi, Democratic state leaders who are decide to change it. I want to know why are they changing their party? Well, what values of the Republican Party are bringing you over? Let's
question to you is
statements about that.
If you live in these districts, these counties,
right,
and it's Montgomery County and all that, those are in Benny's district.
They are.
So, are we actually going to make a move to try to get rid of Benny, or we're just going? It's just like Jackson. We have Democratic leadership, but we say we're a red state. The whole state, half the state is blue because of Benny Thompson. His district is that blue.
Yes, his district is that blue because we have not converted the people on the ground to Republican values, to know that the values that Republicans are about. It does not shock me that we've got counties in the Delta. But that's why Benny is so scared, in my opinion.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, I don't get it. I mean.
Look, I've said it many times. If given the chance to get on the right road and to be a good politician and to work, or a public servant, I should say, instead of a politician, that all you got to do is make the decision to get on the right track and get on it. It doesn't really matter what you did in your past. So maybe these people are finding.
Well, I hope they're
I mean,
finding.
because I would not be surprised. I mean, Mike Hurst is
I mean,
a good man, so
yes,
I would
he
not
is.
be surprised if they have
like-
realized that all of the values that Mississippians go to church with are values for the Republican Party, and the Democrats in Mississippi on the ground, everyday normal people who just affiliate as personally as a Democrat are very different than the corrupt and, in my opinion, majority of the white elite liberals.
Okay. But what has occurred?
Benny's the one that's hanging out with all the white people in D.C.
Right. But what has occurred in Mississippi and across the nation is the Republican Party is becoming the People's Party.
It is.
Okay. Where it was once the Democratic Party was the People's Party.
Yep.
But as we come across to the other party, we're not getting more conservative. We're getting less conservative. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
I mean,
maybe
because we only have so many in the Senate that actually vote one conservative every time.
Well, if the Democrats are coming over to vote conservative, then hopefully it'll drag the Republicans that have not been for them to wake up, or maybe it'll motivate the people in the towns of these rhinos for them to start banging on their door and saying, "I want a conservative, not a rhino."
See, my way of looking at it is every elected politician will become a Republican or Democrat or whatever he wants in order to get elected. It's like, for instance, in Canton,
that's not true.
People tell me in Canton that if you ran as an independent or a Democrat, you would win. And I look at them and I go, I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. That is what I am.
Right.
There is no need to lie to the people. But we know that politicians lie to the people.
Well,
so that means I'm not really a politician.
Party pick is part of your game plan, though, too. It's not set down. Like you and I are conservatives, and kind of what we
are we conservative because we're white?
No, it's because of our values that we hold, kind of
Right.
that we want small government, that power of the people.
Right.
Whereas, the politicians, people hold their party, I think, personally. Whereas politicians, it's more attached to their job title instead of a personal. Right.
Well, also these people all have to work.
So maybe
in the public sector.
Right.
Okay. They have jobs in the, and like, for instance, people say to me, Chip, you can't put on your pizza box that you're a Republican. I said, damn, yes, I can. And they said,
well, it's a free country.
You might lose some Democrats. I said, not over my pizza.
Yeah.
They like it.
Well,
they'll be there.
I think it's time for us to stop looking at party and start making a decision about why we associate with what parties that we associate with.
That's what in Mississippi.
Because I guarantee you, if the women that were at Jackson State last night read the platform of the Democratic Party,
right,
as far as it, I hate to use the word, but as far as abortion goes, they would, if you really read the beliefs on abortion in the Democratic Party, partial birth abortion is something no one should be able to get on with, and that is a predominant part of their platform. It's not even that they've hidden it.
Well,
but it's a deep belief for them, and I don't think that most women believe in that far of partial, wherever you are lower.
Well, this is where we're at on that. We know that Democrats from Mississippi are not national Democrats.
No, they're not.
They're not. Mississippi people are Mississippi. It ought to be one big party because we are all really on the same page in this state. The things that we pick up in the news nationally and the agendas that are driven to our local TV stations to push us.
Right.
And then you have certain politicians who race bait.
Right.
Get us from where we are. Because like in Canton, we're all Cantonians.
Right.
We all show up together. We all do what we do. And where we do things together, we do things together. Once again, the culture keeps people from doing everything together that they should. It's the same way in Jackson. We don't walk around and ready to kill somebody. Well, there's some that do, but I mean, we all get along.
Right.
In Mississippi. That's what we do. And so when you look at it on the big picture,
hospitality is our thing.
Mississippi has never, in my opinion, in my lifetime, well, I guess, I was young then. Things were different in the 60s. But, I mean, since the 70s and 80s, we're not that crazy place that we are typecast into being. We're
Right.
typecast that every day of the week we're riding around in our trucks, guns in the back of the truck, nooses on the back of the truck,
Well,
this, that, and the other.
yeah.
I mean, that's what we're
They
typecast as.
oh, they are. They are. When I lived down in Bay St. Louis, we had some military that shifted in and shifted out, and a lot of times they would bring girlfriends with them. Well, one of the girlfriends came down from New York City. She had 3 children with 3 different men and looked at me and said, I was shocked. I thought Mississippi was basically a dirt road and a post office. And I was looking at her going, yes, and I have a college degree, no children, from Mississippi, and you have got 3 children by 3 different men.
And she wanted to go to a cross burning or something.
No, she just thought that we were barefoot and had basically
Barefoot
a dirt
and
road,
pregnant.
barefoot, pregnant, stupid. A dirt road and a post office is what the towns were made of in Mississippi. And I was like, yeah.
Look,
And I'm kind of looking down on you a little bit because you have 3 babies by 3 different men.
rural Indiana
Yep.
is the baby in the front yard and the diaper
Yeah,
only with
yeah.
no shirt, or
Yeah.
just a shirt with no diaper,
Right.
and running around.
Right.
That is
Right.
Indiana. That is the Mississippi is much more sophisticated than all of that, and
They
people
are.
don't realize
Well,
that.
and the black population is a lot more sophisticated because you start talking about back when I was in school in the 70s. I went to one of the first teachers who had a major impression on me was in the 4th grade. Her name was Mrs. Holloway
Okay,
at Northside Drive School.
Northside Drive School.
She was a black lady, a beautiful middle class. Probably her and her husband had more money in their family than my father and my parents. And I don't think people realize in Mississippi we had very affluent. I mean, because Clinton in the 70s was one of the best school systems in the state,
and still is,
and still is. And she was like an English teacher. I remember her thinking she looked like a beauty queen. She was a very beautiful black lady. But I had many every year I had a black teacher of influence, and they were kind to us white children. They were not mean. I mean, they were this. In fact, they were nicer than some of the white teachers.
exactly.
But we've had well-to-do black people in Mississippi.
We've had everything
for quite a while.
It didn't. Let's just take a break. We'll be back on the other side, right here on the Chip Matthews Show with Taylor Turcotte, here on the, what does he got? The Big Story?
Oh, I have no.
I forgot. On Matt's show.
Sorry.
Right here on WYAB. Coming back. Oh, la, 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 la. And we're back here on a Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday.
Wednesday here on the WYAB Airways. Remember, coming up at 7 o'clock, the one, the only, the Clay Edwards. And I saw where he was talking about last night. I couldn't tell. My picture was too small. I couldn't tell who the musician he had playing with him that was playing on his show. But the other thing is he had a post up talking about on Chokeway's watch over 1,000 people have been murdered here in Jackson.
Wow. 1,000 people.
And I see these things online, and I don't know what they mean. They said Ninth Circuit has overturned a judge's ruling requiring President Trump to continue refugee admissions. Wonder what that is. I can't tell what is the truth on social media anymore or not. What side is what?
I don't think it matters if it's true or false. All they're doing is trying to draw our attention from somewhere. If they're worried about if they're hitting Trump up about his refugee policy, where are we taking refugees in from?
I don't know.
Where? I mean, refugees. You come to the border through a normal border crossing, and you apply for refugee status. That's how you come in as a refugee.
Okay.
Right.
Correct. Okay, so let's talk about
why is it so hard?
Okay, I have an event tomorrow night in Canton at the Canton High School.
Okay.
Where we'll be talking mayoral things of Canton, which of course y'all understand. If we ever fix Canton, Madison County is going to boom bigger than it has.
Yeah, well,
and then somebody brought up to me from Madison County, and this is for all you members of the Madison County Executive Committee. In Rankin County, they run billboards that say the Republicans remind you to get out and vote. In Madison County, because I saw their budget when they were around before, they don't have money in the budget to put up signs like that. Why don't you? Why aren't you raising money in Madison County to make the Republican Party stronger? I mean, you should be out. I mean, you did the forum the other night to help the candidates, but drive into Rankin County and see what they do for Republicans.
Oh, wow.
And then I mean, it's the same in Hinds County. They don't do anything for Republicans in Hinds County.
Well,
you don't see billboards saying, "Hey, vote for the Republicans."
Not yet.
That just doesn't happen. And the same in Madison County. There's nothing. Just it's non-existent.
Yeah. Well, Rankin County GOP, and I will even say Rankin County Republican ladies.
Yeah, they get the job done.
Republican women are driving a lot. They are really showing up and getting people engaged and involved.
And there, and you have Republicans, multiple Republicans running for the mayoral races in Brandon and in Pearl
and in Flowood.
And in Flowood.
Yep, we've got a lady running in Flowood.
And in Madison County, you don't have any multiple Republicans running anywhere. I'm running.
Right. And
then of course Gene ran and it's already won. Okay. I said nobody ran against him, and Mary won.
Because nobody's running against her.
And I don't know what's going on. I'm embarrassed to know that I don't know what's going on in Florida, but I should know.
Yeah.
Since we're right here in the heart of it. But the reality is the Republican Party in Madison County or any of Benny Thompson's districts. Now, that's the big thing here. In the districts that Benny Thompson is part of,
right,
the Republican Party is non-existent in their in their advertising, in their push to be relevant in that area.
Yeah.
It's like in these areas where these new people came in that moved from Democrat to Republican, they've moved over, and I wonder at times if they realize that they're going to be asking them to go, you got to go find some money. Other than that, we're through with you. I mean, because that's the way it is in Madison County.
Well,
and if you look at Benny's entire district, and you think back to the a race.
Yeah.
No, the Republican Party statewide did not give any money
No.
to the candidate running.
Mississippi Republican women didn't give me any money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But they couldn't because we were in a primary.
You were in
so
a
we had so
but they did
couldn't.
it in the judges' race.
Well,
Okay, they gave some money to
we did
to
one,
a Republican in the
one-
judges' race.
one, and I'm sorry, maybe one. Whereas we've got, I mean, let me surprise you with some numbers, Chip. That I don't know if I've told you these before, but when I was running on the Republican primary to run against Benny Thompson, we were going to drop text messages, so I bought the list. Well, I can sort the list by county. It's all of D2 Republican primary voters.
Right.
Okay. In District 2, there are 7,500 Republican-leaning primary women voters.
Right.
In District 2.
Right.
Of that 7,500,
right,
6,500 of them
right,
are Black women.
Okay. Well, once again, it's not about race.
No, but what I'm saying is that but what I'm saying is if we're going to go after Democrats,
yeah,
I think that we need to start realizing that it's not about race because we've already got a lot of Black support, especially with women.
Well, see, that's where you're bringing up race, and what I'm trying to say is,
well, because and I'm bringing up race because Republican is considered the white party, Democrat is considered the Black, and I don't think that's true in Mississippi.
See, that's the first statement I have made today.
Right,
I've said there is no difference,
right,
between a middle class or poor.
Right.
I mean, no matter what we say on the middle class from Mississippi, you're actually poor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, believe me, yes, I know.
Middle class Blacks and middle class whites are the same person.
Yes.
Color does not matter.
No, it doesn't.
And the only time that when you say you're going to run for office, that's where the political people say you got to divide yourself. Okay,
well, but
then they say you can't run in a Democratic city. You've got to run as a Democrat. You can't run as a Republican.
Well,
you'll never win.
But
that's what they say.
Yeah, but until we get Benny Thompson to stop using black and white in his side of all of this, then we are still, because once again, we're saying that people are voting Benny Thompson in, that all the Black people are voting for Benny Thompson. They're not.
They're not voting.
They're not. They see through him just like we do. And when I was running as well, I called, I have a man that lives in Clinton. You know, if you go west of Clinton, there's a very large family that lived back over there that when I called my contact that had done, he actually did work on my kitchen. And I told him that I was running, and he pretty much laid out a long text message about why they are continuing to take the crap that the Democratic Party serves up to them.
Well, here's the reality: is there such thing as a deal made with between Republicans and Democrats? Not, and then this is the political people, not the voters,
right?
To take care of Benny and make sure Benny stays in office.
Yes,
I mean,
yes. Years ago, do I believe that my guys, my generation of Republicans, are going to keep that deal up? I don't think so.
No, but
that deal was made a long time ago, and the deal is up, and we're not gonna.
But it keeps occurring. I mean, I feel like
it keeps occurring until we can get the upper hand on the deal.
Well,
in my opinion.
Well, I mean, but my thing is, they want Benny in office. And
I think the rhinos do. The new generation, I do not think that Tate Reeves wants Benny Thompson in office.
Oh, I don't think so.
I think that if Tate Reeves and Andy Gibson and the majority of our strong GOP leaders, if they could get him out, they would.
They could get him out. And they could.
Well, they could, but if they were assured that they could get him out, they would.
No, they could.
Is different.
They could.
Well,
period.
Then how do you know they're not underground? Because they're certainly not going to tell everybody that they're doing it.
They could get Benny out of office.
I think they are.
We couldn't win we couldn't win statewide offices in our government.
Right.
If we couldn't get Benny out.
Well, but you got to understand, Benny is controlling the ballot box.
That's what I do know.
So how is honestly anybody in my party going to be able to do that if Benny's got all of his people surrounding these unsecured ballot boxes as they're leaving precincts?
Yeah, and if you look at the 30 counties that he represents,
right,
Those cities are all Democratic mayor cities.
Of course they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, we got all the state house people that we're going to deal with down there are now Republicans. Something isn't right. Something is amiss. And it's time for another break.
Okay.
Right here with Chip Matthews and Taylor Turcotte on WYAB. Oh, Black Betty, bam the lamb. Oh, Black Betty, bam the lamb. Had a child. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I just, it's not my music. It's Matt's music. We'll get some Aerosmith
I
going
always
some.
wondered how y'all chose your songs. Go ahead.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I know how you do.
I don't know
I
how they
found
do.
that out, but I don't.
I would have some Frank Sinatra every once in a while.
Oh,
But anyway, it's another beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dark morning here at WYAB. I am Chip Matthews. She is Taylor Turcottee, and we're talking stuff. And so in the break, where we have now broken all my rules, and we talked during the break, you brought up Signal.
you brought up Signal.
You brought up Signal.
You brought up
No,
Signal.
the news.
You brought up the issue. You brought up the issue
You
that
asked
the
me
news is.
you asked me if I downloaded it.
But you brought up the whole situation.
No, that's Nancy Pelosi leaked that information where Signal stock would go through the roof because everybody downloaded it at one time.
No,
You sure?
I mean, I doubt it.
I'm sure.
It's a stupid. Has anybody read the message? It's all a yay team, go, good job, attaboy text message thread on Signal.
Well,
I mean, to me, it's
also understand that what you saw yesterday in the public
right
may not have been the other words if they existed.
Right. Well, there was.
But the whole ideal of Signal is it disappears.
But the whole thing is, first of all, there was no classified information on there. All that they're trying to start controversy about anything. There's something else that we need to be looking at that they don't want us looking at because they keep bringing up these stupid things. There was no. They were grilling them, and they said to them, "Wasn't this was a horrible mix-up?" And Ratcliffe went, "No." It wasn't. I mean, they're making a mountain out of a molehill over everything.
And that's because the Democrats have nothing to talk about. And
there's so many more important things that we should be looking at that we're not paying attention to.
Okay, so let's listen for a second. In Mississippi, the way I've always looked at politics is Democrat, Republican, we talk on a national basis.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. In Mississippi, in the local races, we don't talk about it. Although the state tries to keep us all Republican, meanwhile, in the cities, we're all Democrat. I mean, that's kind of a truth, except for like Ridgeland and Madison and Rankin County. Those are our strongholds. But they could, in Ridgeland, that could easily flip the other way at any time. I mean, because if you go by racial makeup, things are changing. Then, of course, yesterday, Ridgeland gets closer and closer to, I tell y'all, you got to get a hold of Ridgeland. And then yesterday they find a body in the landfill with a postal shirt on.
With a postal
T-shirt on. Yeah. So
it was an employee of the post office?
Don't know. Do not know.
Yep. I've been saying that for a couple of years. Y'all, anytime I'd come to Madison and Grip and Grin, y'all Jackson and Hinds County will bleed out. Everything that's going on in Jackson is gradually going to just spread out to the rest of the metro.
County Line Road.
Yep.
It's bleeding over.
Yep.
It's bleeding over.
Well, you know what? Let's look at the bright side this morning, even though the sun's not up. I think the people on the ground, whatever's happening with our leaders, our elected leaders, as far as their which party's values they align with. Let's look at the bright side and realize that for the most part in Mississippi this morning, I think that the majority of people on the ground, everyday normal people that are not politically affiliated, carry the values of the Republican Party and are beginning to realize it.
Okay, so let me ask you this. They carry the values of Trump's Republican Party.
Yeah, they do. I think.
Okay. Now, for instance, once again, our government is not shrinking here in Mississippi. They wrote a bill and passed it that had bad language in it. Now I heard them, they're going to go back and redo some more things in it. Guess
they
what?
don't put that in line behind the redraw, correcting the lines.
We're back to the tax bill is not complete anymore, and the one that needs to be signed doesn't exist.
Because it has the typos in it.
Because everybody wants to change it now.
Because it's just a waste of time. How about just
2 more weeks? We only got 2 more weeks. They can kick the can down the road, just like they did for, I guess, 30, 40 years, 50 years on PERS. They kicked it down the road and didn't correct it way back. It's sort of like that.
Isn't that what they always do?
It's like a credit card bill, y'all. If you don't pay it, it just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is what they have done.
I'm not a smart man. That's why I'm on the radio. And, there are people that are smart on the radio, but for the most part, I'm not smart. I don't know anything. I'm stupid, but I don't understand simple. I mean, I've scratched out a living some way and feel a certain way, and for some reason, and I run for office because I see the need to correct things and fix things and get things back to the way they used to be when a city was clean and your neighbors were this and
Mhm.
you knew 10 people in your city or in
Yep.
your area
Yep.
who were above reproach.
Right.
Nowadays, I can't think of 10 people. Or I can't think of 5 people that are above reproach in the entire state. Can you? I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I hear crickets.
No, you're not. I
5
see.
people in Mississippi. 5 people
Are
in
we talking
Mississippi.
about politicians? We're
I'm
talking about.
5 people that you respect at a level completely. 5. And when you were growing up, there were tons of them. Now, that may have been because we were kids, but I remember everybody else in town followed those people. And you,
I don't.
it's
I
not.
know. I mean, growing up, my grandfather was who was
Yeah.
Sun, Moon, and Stars.
And
He
so,
was
so was my grandfather.
stand up kind of man that you didn't waver. You did what was right every day.
But I
You
can
got
go
up.
through Canton and start naming people above reproach, and they were all business leaders and businessmen. But the problem is now in Jackson, you can't think of a lot of businessmen in the city of Jackson.
Right.
You don't have them. And we let the big box stores come in and take over in the drug world.
Well,
See how I tied that in?
Yes.
And they're out there spending. The big box stores are spending that money.
Yep.
To make sure that the little pharmacist goes away.
Right. Well, just like they did with Walmart in the
Yeah, Walmart has
15, 20 years ago when Walmart came in and was huge.
Walmart Pharmacies is one of those big box stores.
Oh yeah, I know. But you remember when Walmart took over all the little stores when they came into all the towns and all of this, and everything is now gone except for the.
And see, in these once you control it all through the big box stores, you control the prices, you control everything.
Chip, it's all all of the big stores are controlled by all of the big corporations that are all controlled by BlackRock. I mean, it's all controlled. When people really wake up, when they realize that our entire world is run by a select few, and we probably have no idea what their names are.
Well, that's why we're trying to fix it.
Exactly.
That's what Trump is up to.
Exactly.
And that is why there's so much fight.
Exactly. And I don't think that the Republican Party would be able to reach out and have the kind of backbone to them if Trump had not joined the party.
If Trump
in 2006 or
you got to think of all the people that pushed back on Trump. I mean, we had people right here in this state that were pushing back on Trump.
I know.
Hard.
I remember because I fell in love with Trump in first season of The Apprentice. So I was, as soon as I heard Trump, as soon as he came down the escalators, I was like, my businessman, the next great American president is finally here. It's a businessman. He's going to know how to do things. I'm telling you. The night the primary was over and Trump won the primary, MSNBC and Morning Joe had built Trump up to be the best thing ever. The morning of the primary, I woke up, turned on the TV, expecting to see celebration, and they were like, Donald Trump is the devil. And I think that a lot of us saw through it then.
Well, I mean,
turn the channel.
Oprah and all of them were friends of Trump's.
Oprah asked... Oprah, don't even get me started. Oprah is the reason why we all run around with sanitizer in our hands, because she told us that there was doo-doo in our bowling balls in the 80s. She is the one that has made us so afraid of every little germ that we use sanitizer, and we don't have an immune system built up anymore, and we're all getting sick. I loved Oprah in the 80s, and I went home every day after school and she has let me down as an adult.
Well, the reality is this: Oprah had a lot of growing up to do from Mississippi and to Chicago, and she went from being a fat girl to a skinny girl to a fat girl. That doesn't have anything to do with it. Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. It has to do with she will do whatever it takes. They will, when the money is dropped in front of them, they will take whatever deal and do whatever they have to keep that money and that influence coming.
I agree with that, but what I'm saying is on things like sanitizer and stuff like that, she was going through people constantly telling her how to gain weight, how to lose weight. She wanted to lose weight. She's going back and forth from being a fat girl to a skinny girl. And that's one of those things where this week I'm trying this diet, this week I'm trying that diet. That's I mean
that may have been. I know that that's what she was doing because
I
I
mean,
clearly remember it. But
because she's just a Mississippian who made billions of dollars, which we're
No.
all stupid as we're all stupid Mississippians, and we're just worth nothing.
All of you men have failed to realize that probably some of the most powerful known people in the world are the women, like Oprah
We are not
and
gonna,
Hillary Clinton. And I think that it was part of a plan back then in the 80s. I don't think Gates and all these people have just come up with these 2025 plans to have us start eating bugs and be vaccinated and all that kind of crap. I don't think they just came up with this plan. I think that Oprah has been
okay, woman.
I think Oprah's one of the.
Be quiet for a second. We got to take another break. We got to take another break.
All right.
You know, somebody has to pay the bills around here.
Pay them, Chip.
That's
You're the
right.
Man. If
That's
you
the man. Got to pay the bills. I'm the man.
Pay it.
We'll be back right here on WYAB. We'll be back.
Aaron?
How serious is that music?
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun,
Breaking
dun, dun, dun.
news.
Okay, here we're back on the Chip Matthews show with Taylor Turcotte.
Yeah.
And we're both running for office, and we like to remind everybody of that. But we won't be
Mhm.
on the ballot to the general election.
No.
So, and I see that the
That is-
sun is starting to
Here
crown.
comes the
Do you know
sun.
tomorrow,
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
at some point between when the sun is rising, it's going to look like devil horns on the moon.
Stop.
What?
Don't make that hand. Don't.
Uh,
Keep your thumb out. Keep your thumb out. Keep your thumb out. No, don't.
Mm.
Unless you're in Texas and doing hang 'em horns, don't. That is.
No, that is Gene Simmons.
I know.
That's rock and roll.
I know.
Rock and roll woman.
I
I'm
don't
not,
like that hand signal.
Well,
Nobody can see it on the radio.
okay.
Thank goodness.
well, they can see it online.
Mm.
Okay, but anyway, so coming up at 7:00 is the Clay Edwards show right here on most of this same radio station and online and on YouTube and on Rumble and everywhere. And you will
he's got
enjoy
it
that.
everywhere.
I can't wait to see what he talks about today. He always has something unique and informative for you people. Also, remember that Jameson Haygood will be on at 10:00.
10:00
with the Good Fight.
Yeah, I'm not going to get to see Jameson today.
No, you're not. And then at
Hey, Jameson.
4:00, it's the Kim Wade Show.
Kim
Radio
Wade.
Strongman.
Yep. If y'all don't like me, put Kim Wade and David Archie on the ballot in June and really see me sweat. It'll be a.
Okay, I'm looking at Jameson Haygood. Let's see. On his Facebook page, let's see what he's got here. It says modification NOAA State of the Science Fact Sheet. Solar radiation modification. There it is. He's talking about chemtrails again, I guess.
Yep.
And it's supposed to rain again this weekend, y'all.
Yep.
I guess they had to get the planes reloaded.
Yep.
Okay, so
I would just tell people go ahead and be prepared for anything.
Okay. So what we didn't get a schedule of what's going on today. Tomorrow is the mayoral debate at Jackson State.
At Jackson State, and they're doing their debates at the liberal arts, and basically if you come through the main entrance, liberal arts building, there are signs everywhere that you can tell where it is. But tomorrow night's the mayoral debate there, and
I know Kim Wade will be there.
I know Kim will be there. I've seen that Tim Henderson will be there. David Archie is everywhere, so I'm sure he's going to be there as well.
He's everywhere.
Yes, and let's put him on. Let's be sure he's on that ballot on June 3rd. I mean,
well, yeah, he's got to win a Democratic primary.
I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. Let's put him. Let's be sure that he gets on the ballot, because I'm saying, Jackson, I don't think that y'all realize the gift that y'all have in David Archie, that he is everywhere. The past 2 times that I've seen a fight broken up on social media somewhere in downtown Jackson, it's been David Archie. Last time I saw him breaking up a fight, it was in the courthouse, a family.
Is he sliding you money?
No.
Okay.
David Archie is the person who stood up for me and supported me with my first audit.
Okay.
He was the one that called me back and said, yes, let's talk. And yes, we need to do this. And yes, so I have.
Well, anyway, we need to make sure in the Democratic primary that Chokeway is choked out of the.
Yes. And let's say with David, I know that David Archie is the kind of man that will not take the deal. He's already proven it to us.
And then y'all also need to be thinking about this. And I want you to think about it now, because you've missed the boat in primarying everybody.
Yep.
With the conservative Republican in the races in everywhere else. So right now you're stuck with what you got.
Right.
So when you go to vote, if you don't need to vote in the Republican primary, for a candidate, then you're going to go and vote in the Democratic primary for a candidate that is not Chokeway.
Right.
Okay.
David Archie, please. If you're a Republican, David Archie follows your values. He is a conservative Democrat. He is if you will listen to David Archie and Kim Wade on this station, they will duplicate each other.
Okay. Let's quit pushing one candidate right now.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's stop that. What I'm saying is, we got to go to vote. And in Canton, we have nobody running other than me as a Republican in the city.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean there aren't other Republicans in our city.
No.
But they need to get off their catookuses and run for office next time. And so right now is the time when you start thinking about running in the for county races. I want you thinking about that. We're voting in the city races, and then we're a
Right.
year away from voting in the county races.
Right.
And the Republican Party in Madison County needs to work hard to get some Republican candidates on the ballot, because we need to get rid of the Republican. It's not a Republican, Gerald Steen. But anyway, our time is about to run out.
Okay.
We'll be back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6
6
o'clock.
a.m.
What's his name? Oh, Clay Edwards. I take medicine
like,
for it. I take medicine for it. Clay Edwards' show is next right here on most of the same radio station. She is Taylor Turcottee, running for Ward 7, councilman in Jackson city limits.
Uh-huh.
And I am Chip Matthews, and I'm running for mayor in Canton, Mississippi. And we will see you back here bright and early, 6 a.m. tomorrow. The sun will be up soon, I promise.
Y'all have a great day.
And watch out for the rain this weekend. This is the Chip Matthews Show on WYAB.